So IShowSpeed has been having an incredible African tour, and depending on when you are watching this video, he'll probably be done or almost done. But I think there's one thing that has been lurking in the minds of most people: that green bag he keeps having behind him when he climbs on the car or gets down the car. First of all, it's called the TVU1, and it's a $30,000 kit. We'll get to that, but today's video, we are going to have a general breakdown of every kit he has been using in the whole stream. So first off, let's start with the microphone. Now, consistently, he has been using a DJI microphone. Sometimes he uses a Hollad microphone. Now, these microphones usually range from $30 to probably $200. It can even go much more crazier. From there, then he goes to his GoPro. Now, the GoPro in particular he uses is a Hero 3, which ranges from $399, so let's say roughly $400. Now, that $400 GoPro camera is mostly for his when he's taking more of like a selfie video. He wants you to see what he is also seeing sometimes in real life. Sometimes too, he goes for his phone for situations when, let's say, a camera can't be admitted or he can't use his full professional camera, which we'll talk about. But or situations where even they don't allow him to use his GoPro. So perfect example is when he hosted the Ballon d'Or or he went to stream the Ballon d'Or. He has to use his phone, which mostly of late he has been using his iPhone. But if you noticed on his arm, he has the S25 Ultra to watch his chat and his feed, which is an excellent phone. Now, both phones go for roughly around $199 USD, and depending on the storage he goes for, which is IShowSpeed, definitely he will want the best. So probably you go for 512 or the 1 terabyte kit. Then we go to the main camera gear. The main camera gear is the Sony FX3, which is mostly used for a lot of video productions, sometimes even movies, and a whole lot. That camera is really expensive if you really look into it. Also ranges around $30,000, if I'm not mistaken, and can even go more. His, I think his main lens of choice has been between a 35mm to a 60. I may be wrong, but I realize that sometimes he does switch lenses. So for the exact lens he uses, for the other angles that sometimes he takes, I might not verify now, but I believe it might be also usually a wide range. Looking at how Speed does a stream, he'll definitely want a lot of people in the shot. Now, before I go on, if you want us to have a deep dive on what type of lenses mean, the 35 I just mentioned and the 60, and you would want us to make a video on it, don't forget to hit the like so we do that. Now, moving on, we realize he has a drone shot. Now, this drone shot usually has a very wide view and a very wide angle in general. Now, the drone he mostly uses is the DJI Avatar. Now, the DJI Avatar also ranges from $399 US. I know a lot of $400 is being mentioned in this video, but bear with me. Now, this is also a perfect 5G connectivity drone, which can shoot all the difficult angles you can imagine. Now, all these come into connection to the bag we talked about, that green bag you keep seeing. Now, that bag is a high-level production gear, which mostly can be used for ESPN, talk about your CNNs and all that. That gear is basically the powerhouse for everything he's doing. All these feeds are being fed into that bag. That bag has multiple connectivities. So it can, and usually you can usually put in multiple carriers. So let's say, as we are in Ghana, you can have your MTN, you can have your Airtel Tigo, then have other sources of internet, which is a nice segue to the internet he mostly uses, which is a Starlink mini kit that usually ranges from 3,000 to 3,500 Ghana cedis on the market. But I think in one of his feeds or his video shoots, he talked about his kit being unique because Elon sent it to him, which also makes me notice what is happening here. Because if you use a Starlink kit or a Starlink mini kit, generally in Ghana, if I may say, upload speeds are not that incredible, but more of download speeds. But because of what he's doing, he's usually doing uploads which means his kids probably has a different network which is propagated for him, or he has a different path in which his feeds are being fed from and to. Now, all these, as I said, is connected to the TV1, which is automatically synced and controlled by an IRL remote controller app, which is on the phone. If you notice the feed, there is one of his cameramen who is constantly on his phone, who is controlling the angles the cameras are being shot all together. Couple that with, don't forget, I also talked about him also taking footages from his phone. There's a guy also particularly, there's a guy whose purpose is to shoot from a phone. If you've noticed, most of his shots that you see, they take one shot and they go. And those are the incredible scenes where probably he's going to raise somebody or do something probably more incredible. A lot of incredible words being used at the moment. Bear with me as well. All these come in hand for Speed to create that incredible footages we've been seeing all the way from countries all over Africa. He just completed his Ghana tour, which happened yesterday as I'm shooting now. So he had an incredible tour in Ghana. Shout out to Wudimaya, who did an incredible hosting from the eastern region down to Accra. There was a bit of chaos, which we all could testify, from the car show to the Jollof issue, which is another saga we'll talk about. Definitely subscribe to Charlie. We'll have something on that for you. But all in all, the tour has been successful. If you are thinking you would want to do streaming as a whole, this is basically a leap, or I'll say the Mount Rushmore of things you probably should get at the end. But you can definitely start small, and at the end, we all aim to be the best. Maybe you can become the next IShowSpeed. Who knows? That has been Melon for Tech Trends. See you in another video.